What if I told you that Catherine of Aragon never loved Prince Arthur? What if I told you that after Arthur's death, she married Henry not for the throne, not for power, but because she truly loved him? And what if I told you that even after divorce, betrayal, and humiliation, Catherine never gave her heart to anyone else and died still loving Henry VIII? This is not just history. This is a love story buried beneath crowns, lies, and cruelty. Catherine of Aragon was not just the first wife of Henry VIII. She was a queen who loved with complete devotion. This emotional historical love story reveals the untold truth behind Catherine of Aragon and Henry VIII's marriage, betrayal, and lifelong loyalty. This video explores the emotional side of Tudor history, a tragic royal love story where power destroyed devotion and a queen chose loyalty until her final breath. If you love emotional history stories, Tudor queens, and real royal love tragedies, this story of Catherine of Aragon will stay with you long after the video ends. Catherine of Aragon was born a princess of Spain, daughter of the most powerful Catholic monarchs in Europe. From childhood, she was trained to be a queen, disciplined, faithful, unbreakable. Love was never promised to her. Duty was. At 15, she was sent to England to marry Prince Arthur, the future king. History calls him her husband, but truth whispers something colder. Arthur was weak, sickly, distant. She respected him, but her heart never woke beside him. Their marriage was brief, quiet, and empty. Then, Arthur died. 6 months after the wedding, Catherine was a widow in a foreign land, 16 years old, alone, unwanted. England had no use for her anymore. Her dowry became a dispute. Her future became a question mark. Years passed in poverty and uncertainty while she waited, prayed, and suffered in silence. And then Henry entered her life. Henry was not Arthur. He was young, vibrant, confident. He spoke to Catherine as an equal. He admired her intelligence, her strength, her faith. For the first time since she arrived in England, Catherine felt seen, heard, chosen. When Henry decided to marry her, the world said it was politics, a convenient solution, a royal necessity. But Catherine knew the truth. She chose Henry with her heart. She believed God had rewarded her suffering with love. When Catherine became Queen of England, she gave herself completely to her husband and her kingdom. She was loyal, devoted, and strong. When Henry went to war, Catherine ruled as regent. She defended England, inspired soldiers, and proved she was not just a queen by title, but by spirit. She gave Henry everything she had: her youth, her body, her devotion. She endured pregnancy after pregnancy, miscarriage after miscarriage, loss after loss. 6 times she carried life. Only once did a child survive, Princess Mary. And that single truth began to destroy everything. Henry wanted a son. Catherine wanted only Henry. As the years passed, Henry's love cooled. Desire replaced devotion. And then Anne Boleyn appeared, young, ambitious, dangerous. Anne did not want to be a mistress. She wanted the crown. Henry lost himself. When he demanded a divorce, Catherine did not scream. She did not beg. She stood before the court with quiet dignity and said she had been his true and lawful wife. She reminded him of every year, every sacrifice, every prayer. She declared that she had married Henry in good faith and loved him with all her heart. But Henry had already chosen power over love. Catherine was stripped of her crown, stripped of her title, stripped of her identity. She was no longer called queen. She was renamed Dowager Princess of Wales, a lie she refused to accept. She was separated from her daughter Mary.
banished to cold castles, forgotten by the court, erased by the man she loved. But Catherine did not hate Henry. She never replaced him in her heart. She never remarried, never sought another man, never let go. She prayed for Henry, even after betrayal, even after humiliation, even after heartbreak. Henry moved on. New wife, new promises that would also be broken. Catherine remained alone. In her final days, she was weak and ill, living far from her daughter, far from the world she once ruled. But when she wrote her last letter, it was not filled with anger. It was filled with love. She forgave Henry. She prayed for his happiness. She wished him peace. She signed the letter not as a queen, but as what she had always been in her heart, your most loving wife. Catherine of Aragon died in 1536, not as a queen, not as a wife recognized by the world, but as a woman who loved one man until her final breath. History remembers Henry VIII as powerful, but love belonged to Catherine. She lost her crown, she lost her daughter, she lost her place in history, but she never lost her heart. And in the end, that is what makes her immortal.